We recently audited 50 websites in the automotive sector. 90% of them had almost identical problems. This is how I'd fix it. So what I want to do now is I want to run through together these key areas that are affecting and hindering your growth online. Number one is analytics. Normally, if you've seen some of the videos in the past, I'll talk about this as a roundup. But this was the number one problem that when we were auditing these websites, we found they didn't actually have, they either had no analytics setup or they had limited analytics setup, which would mean regardless of what they were doing, they were still guessing with their strategy and they were guessing with the impact of what strategies and what channels were actually doing. Number two, what we found is they had complex and very confusing structures. So that means that when people were landing on the website, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to both the user and the structure didn't really make sense to Google. So it was getting crawled in a strange way. And when users were landing on the page, it wasn't easy for them to navigate, be able to find services, be able to find out key information across their website. Number three is a lot of them were international. Okay. Now with international, I need you to remember a thing called an href-lang. And what we found is across these businesses, a lot of them would sell into international markets, but we knew that why on earth were they not using href-langs correctly to be able to serve the right variant and subdomain of the website into the right sector and into the right location to be able to rank and get found by users in those locations. Number four is keywords. Okay. Now, interestingly, we found this across almost all of the websites. Is what people were doing is they were using the wrong type of keyword on the wrong kind of page. If you think about an informative keyword, so a what is, how do I, when is, how to, when do I, those kind of keywords which are very kind of informational based. If I look and type in one of those keywords into Google, I don't want to be taken to a service or a product page. But also, if I'm ready to actually buy the product, okay, which is kind of a commercial or transactional based keyword, so say I wanted something like SEO management services. If I type that in, I want to land and I want to find people who deliver SEO management services. I don't want to find a blog about that. Does that make sense? The next one, we found that most of the websites were actually running very, very slow. So a lot of spend and a lot of money have been spent by these organizations, okay, on various marketing channels. But when people are actually landing on the pages are loading too slow and people are getting frustrated and they will leave. Now, the next one that we found is about their copy, okay, so their website copy. When we analysed this, okay, and did a basic kind of audit and kind of amalgamation of the data, what we found is a common theme across them is they had too little copy across their key pages. So both Google didn't understand enough about what the page really was about, so therefore isn't going to rank you for that. But also when users are landing there, there's not enough authority, there's not enough expertise being showing to convince them that they're the right business or that is the right product or that is the right service for them. Now, the last one that I want to touch on, okay, is, it might sound like an obvious one, but I guarantee that if you look at a few websites now, okay, you'll find this. They had too many random call to action buttons and CTAs just randomly scattered across their website. As a user, I want to know that when I land on a website, I want you to guide me as to what that next step actually is. When we were looking at all of these businesses in that sector, what we found is they just had random CTA buttons doing different things across different web pages, and they had little CTAs within the text as well. Actually really confusing to a user, and it will kill your conversion rate. So as you can see, fixing a website, it doesn't need a total redesign and overhaul. What it means is getting some of the basics right to mean that every visit, every click, every user, every experience works harder and does something and drives action for the business.